go already. The lights are out and run the way for the British Grand Prix. Totally caught me off guard there, but Balabotan leads the way ahead of Harry in towards turn 1. We go wheel to wheel. Not anymore. The Aston Martin is just ahead of the kick-out. A bit of a connection issue there as Barney in P3. Then Alpha Highball already up to P4 with the two Ferraris right behind. Harry tries to go around the outside of Balabotan, but not able to get the exit right. Barney also having a look at the kick-out. Harry very close to the back now of the Aston Martin. Looks like Michael's gone off in the background in the Haas. He has spun around on the exit of turn 4. But Balabotan has remained the lead of the race ahead of Harry. Then it's Barney, Alpha Highball and P4. The two Ferraris 5th and 6th. Barney pushed there a bit hyper and ozone. And looks like Arbon has already had some trouble at the start. He's down to P17. Doesn't look like he's going to be winning this race then. Harry is close to the back, getting closer and closer, and he pulls the outside. Are we going to see a change of lead? Yellow flags in the background. Dark Assassin seems to have gone off through Maggots and Baggers. There's contact between the two leaders, and Balabotan goes off track as he makes contact with Harry through Stowe, and he drops down to P3 as a result of that. Harry is now in the lead of the race out of Barney, and Balabotan just dropped down to P3. Lucky to still be in this train as there was contact between himself and the Sauber. But what happened to Dark Assassin, who went off through Maggots and Baggers? He's got big front wing damage for the man third in the championship. That was the last thing he needed. As Barney and Harry fight it out once again, and this time Barney has got the position, and now he's taking the lead of this race. Harry still has half a look at the inside though, on the exit of Lovefield, but Barney now in the lead of this race in the McLaren. P3 on the grid to the race lead on lap 4. Harry almost pushing the McLaren through the final corner. And it's now really close to the back, and is he going to try and go and lunge it up the inside into Village? Yes, he is. Late from the brakes. Barney doesn't fight it, and knows he's going to have the DRS for the next straight. So Harry back into the lead towards Barney, and Harry and Barney very close to the back of the Sauber. Make contact as we go into the braking zone of the final chicane. Is he going to try and go up the inside? Then wheel to wheel. Oh, very close between these two. In the background, there's contact as well between Balabotan and Alpha Highball as they fight it out of the final chicane side by side through what probably is the tightest part of the track. Then somehow they still stay in the same position as they went to that chicane, with Harry and Barney in P1 and P2, and Balabotan still ahead of Alpha Highball in P3. Here we go again. He's going to have to go around the outside again towards Stowe, and Barney has much more speed around the outside. What a beautiful move by Barney. He goes round the outside of Stowe of Harry and takes the lead of this race. Harry now with the switchback is going to try and go alongside into the final corner onto the curb. Barney gives him the space, to be fair to him, but they still go wheel to wheel on the Hamilton straight, and Barney does get the position as a few doors already putting the pit lane at the end of lap 7. But what a fight between these two, and Harry sends one up the inside in towards turn 3, but the McLaren driver stays ahead for now. But what a battle between these two for the lead of this race. Yellow flags ahead. Aaron has had a spin out of turn 4 as his teammate fights his way past Skinner on the exit of Lovefield. Is he going to be ahead? Yes, he is. The Mercedes ahead of the Williams. Oh, it's going to be close on the exit. They're almost going to be wheel to wheel, with Barney stays ahead. Oh, Harry trying to go for the move there. The McLaren is ahead now. Harry with the better traction, with the better tire temperature, is going to try and go round the outside on the exit of turn 4, and he gets the move done. Harry back ahead of the McLaren and back into the virtual race lead. This hyper, they're all going to come out behind this trio, and Balabotan is going to send one up the inside there of Barney. But the McLaren has the outside line and is able to stay ahead of the Aston Martin, who is on the mediums, which should be quicker. And Barney gets out of the way there. He lets the Aston Martin through, and Balabotan now in between Harry and Barney. It was at Singapore, so that's why it was familiar. Oh, big moment there for Twoosh Terry, and Alpha Highball almost running into the back of the Haas there as he gets pushed through the corner there by Blitz Hyper. There's contact, and Alpha Highball gets sent off track there. Our championship leaders lost a lot of positions. Is even behind Arbel now, who pitted 4 laps ago. Alpha Highball down to P12. That was the last thing he needed. in this race is now going to try and go around the outside of the Red Bull, trying to perform a switchback, but hasn't got the grip yet on his cold hard tires. But he got forced off the road there by the Sauber through turn 4. Not quite sure what happened there. Looked very strange. Looking to find a way past Lennons, who's on the mediums for 5 laps. Terry gets the better exit. Now on the inside of turn 5, he will have the DRS, which should be able to put him ahead of the McLaren to the braking zone of turn 6, and he does. So Terry to P6 behind, it's Blitz Hyper. Getting past Ozan. Now finds himself fighting it out with Mahmudev in the Ferrari in P10. Now gets ahead of Ozan is up to P9 as they run slightly wide there. Albon as well, really wide in the background, struggling with the dirty air. Now once again running wide there, that allows Alpha Hypol to potentially get past, and he does, and so does Vardy. Now Albon getting swallowed there, down to P13 he goes. As Lennons drops behind Mahmudev now and is going to pull into the pit lane after only 5 laps on the mediums. The McLaren drivers into the pit lane again. Whoa! Albon spinning out of the final corner there. Nice drift as he gets back on track. Well, not when you do that. Spinning around once again. Malaboton at the end of lap 16 pulls into the pit lane for his second pit stop, going for a different strategy compared to the drivers around him. Barney is getting close to the back. He's going to try and go around the outside into Stowe like he did a few laps ago. Not this time though, because Harry is going to pull to the pit lane. There he goes. I said it was going to be difficult for him to make to the end on these tires, and he is going for the 2-stop as well. As Jesus fights it out with Blitz Hyper through the final corner, he's got past Vardy already, and now he's going to get past the Sauber through turn 1. Brilliant move there, and he's up to P5. Now Vardy sends it up the inside as well, and he forces the Sauber driver off track there a little bit. Puts his elbows out. And he's now to P6. As Alpha won in the meantime, he's stolen the final spot on the podium from Terry, unfortunately for True, who on his return was looking for a podium finish, but looks like he's going to have to settle for P4 potentially. As the McLaren driver, with 3 corners to go, has nursed his tires home, and Barney is gonna cross the line to win the British Grand Prix. Barney wins for the first time in Revolution, and Mahmudev finishes a very strong second place. Alpha Ball, our championship leader, finishes in P3. Terry in P4, just in P5. But yes, McLaren have won a race again in this season. McLaren win, and it is Barney on top here in Silverstone.